came here today because I heard a knock at the door.
Yeah.
I heard a knock at the door, and it was this gentleman, and this is 2022. You graduated from Wendell Phillips when?
2007.
2007?
Class 07, yeah.
Okay, so that makes it 15 years, it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And that's how long, well, that's not how long I've been knowing you. I mean, I met you when, what, you were a freshman or when was it?
Yep, in 2003.
Okay, so look how many years that is.
Almost 20.
Okay.
When you think about it.
Right? And so what's special, audience members, is that on this past Father's Day, which was just 2 days ago, I thought about this gentleman because he has traditionally called me or even come by prior to and wish me happy Father's Day. In fact, I wish I had the photo that we took together at another, remember the Father's Day?
I remember that one. I remember that one.
And you were with the family.
Yeah.
It was like, and if you looked at the family photo, you would have known that this was my biological son.
Yeah.
But not every son is biological, son. And it's such a delight. It was such a delight when I heard the door. I went upstairs to answer it, and it was John, because he was on my mind. He's like the Bible says about David, he's a man after my heart, and that's just in recognizing doing the things that he has over the years. You know, when you meet kids like yourself at that time, John, and you were in high school, you know you got a good kid. You know he's got even a decent background in terms of parents himself, but also, you know, you have these thoughts about, I wonder how he's going to turn out. I wonder what's going on with him now. And because I don't see you as frequently as I once did, those are the thoughts that I have going through my head, is how is this guy, because he's such a great guy, you wonder how he's going to turn out. So you've been sharing with me some of the things that you've been doing since we last talked.
Since we last talked. So,
you got married, number one.
yes, in 2014. So me and my wife going on 8 years, July 10th. I've been a truck driver, private security, which now I run my own firm. I provide armed, unarmed services. I do a lot of personal protection, and I travel. That's what I've been pretty much doing. Just trying to stay above water in this crazy world that we got going on, and God actually led me here today. Like I said, I was downtown. I was downtown, and some said, "Man, you know what, man? Let me stop over here and see Pops real quick." I always ride past Phillips, and it's not all the time, but when I do, I'm always looking over here, seeing if that door is open, and something to just ride over here today before I go back south. And sure enough, I knocked on the door, and here we are.
And we hugged. I don't know how many times.
Yeah, cause the guy outside, he was like, "Hey, John is in there. Just keep knocking." Cause I actually stepped away. I'm like, okay.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
and they
and
you
then
back
he was
this
like,
way.
"No, John is in there. That's his
Right.
car." I'm like, "You sure?" Yeah. And now we're here. So it was really God, cause I've been thinking about you too, and I know I'll see you on Facebook here and there, but something to come see you today. And
I called you to me. I called you to me.
Yeah, so
And let that know, but seriously, let that be a note to you all that our spirits are more powerful than we think, than we know. And John and I have known each other, you know, these 20 years, it sounds like, at least, and we have a great bond. And I think you all too might have had some experiences where, and I don't know if they got a name for it or whatever, but it ain't no deja vu because that's backwards. But going forward, when you're thinking about somebody and the phone rings and it's them, or you yourself have this type of experience, we have the power to call those things, and we know them as manifestations. We can manifest whatever we think. The Bible even says, as a man thinketh, a man is. And so our thoughts are so powerful. And so I thought about you, you thought about me, and bam, here we are.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
On a Tuesday afternoon, on the hottest day of the year.
100 degrees.
100 degrees. But God.
Yeah.
But God.
Yeah.
And so, John, you were telling me, though, that you are now doing some security for another good friend of mine.
Yeah. So I'm currently providing security for J. Mal Green, who's running for mayor of the city of Chicago. And actually, me and him had actually met a year ago at the Black Women's Expo.
But did you know, and did he know that you were also a graduate of Phillips?
Yes, he know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was he there when you
were
were there? I don't recall.
No, he wasn't.
I didn't think so.
No, he wasn't.
You were
So
before him.
Yeah, way before.
Right,
So
yeah.
he came way after.
Yeah, so that just goes to show you my lineage or long line of sons, particularly at Wendell Phillips, so much so that people think I went there. You know, they know there's an affiliation, and the point of the affiliation is God sent me here for him, for them, and he did that many a year when he made this location available so that I could impart his vision in this community, particularly with this school. I went to Mount Carmel, however, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. And it was only because God called me to Wendell Phillips. I don't have to have the answer per se, but I can tell you over the years what a blessing it was being obedient, and what a blessing it is to be obedient. And so, John, I tell people that, you know, and you were obedient, and that's why you're here. But that's why obedience is bigger than faith.
Mm-hmm. They say obedience is the highest praise.
Really?
That's what they
Okay,
say.
well, thank you for educating me. It's the highest praise. So, audience, you know, if you're wondering why some things are not materializing, maybe you haven't asked for them. The Bible does say, ask and it shall be given unto you. But in the meantime, are you being obedient? Obedience is huge. It shows that you go beyond the faith or the conversation that a lot of people do. You know, it's faith without works. You got to put the work in. It's like I've said too, John, as it relates to the eventual CPS Safe Passage program. When I was volunteering, when this gentleman would see me out there,
every day, every single day, get out of school, he'll be right there, you know, talking to us, you know, making sure that we all good. And who would have thought, you know, we would be here 15 plus years later. And I knew when I walked across the street and I started talking to you, it was just something about you, and sure enough, you took me in as one of your sons, and that's something that I will always be grateful for. You a great man, and I truly love you for that, because you could have took anybody else in, but at that time it was needed for me to meet you, and I always tell people about you, man. I still do, and I do miss you, and that's why I'm saying God led me here today to come see you. So, almost 20-something years ago, when I was, 14, 15, just a teenager who didn't have no clue. I was just going to school, trying to be cool, right there, Wendell Phillips. Who would have thought me, Mr. John Cook, and him taking me in. I mean, I will always love this man. I'm telling you, him and his family, and you have touched me in a way that you don't even know. That's why I will always come back. That's why I always come back.
You know, I don't want to lose it while this interview is going on, but you know, that's the whole purpose. That's really for me the whole purpose, John, and I'm so glad that, you know, not everybody is as appreciative as you are as well. And so, you know, for me, it's all about those who get the lesson, you know, because we know that, you know, there are going to be many that are going to fall by the wayside, you know, but my objective is to do the will of the Father who called me. And so I done what I was supposed to do as it relates to you and those before you and after you. However, this is the blessing. This is the blessing. People who are out there watching this, you know you've affected a life. And we've also heard if you just do one. Well, I've done many. In fact, you know, Jamal Green, who is running for mayor, the man that he's been hired to protect, is another son of mine. And I'm so proud of him and how far he's come. And you saw the potential then when he was a freshman, running in and out of the school and, you know, having his own radio program at the time and having done so many things. But Jamal, too, he and I have such a great relationship, and it's between he and I. You know, we've had some wonderful moments too, man. So I appreciate you sharing that. I want the audience to be left with this, and that is, you don't know till you know. But the only way that you're going to know is that you're going to move in on that thought, that aspiration, motivation that you have inside of you. And I guarantee you, if it was properly submitted to you, transmitted to you, downloaded, and you obey, that you will have a great history or a story to tell sometime later. And that's really what it's about. It's fulfilling the will of God and why he sent us all here. So that was my purpose. It wasn't to go to Mount Carmel where I went myself as a high school student. It was to come here and work with the young people from Wendell Phillips High School. The thing about it though, John, is that, you know, we all try and do our will, not all of us, but many of us want to do what we want to do. But the blessing is doing that which you don't want to do. When I first started out there watching you guys, you know, I was cursing right along with you under my breath, man. Not you in particular, but all those students that was, you know, I was like, you mean I gotta do this? I gotta watch these kids? I had such a terrible attitude. I had such a terrible attitude, but it was kids like you, whom I met over the years, and others who really soothed my spirit. But had I not stepped out there, I wouldn't have known. And look like you're saying now with the job and the impression that I left 20 years later. So God bless you all. Do that one thing, and that is do the will of God. Step beyond your fears and beyond the faith, and make it a obedient, you know, action. And then also reach somebody who can extend that knowledge, extend that blessing on your behalf. And so John is firmly doing that with his family, in his job, and also in acknowledging our past and and living out the present. So that's what we're to do, is to build a legacy so that others like him, this great young man, can, you know, have that same philosophy and live and hopefully see the better day than what we're experiencing now, right?
And I just, and not to cut you off, but I do want to say this to all of my young people out there: if you can find you somebody to talk to, or I mean, if you find a role model, that's good. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, when Mr. Cook came into my life 15 plus years ago, I knew it. I'm like, this is a great guy right here, and I don't know where this relationship is gonna take me, but I'm willing to get on the ride and let's go. And sure enough, he's been nothing but the best to me. Nothing but love for this man, and he knows it. You know, just a you know, heavy set kid going to Phillips who wanted to talk. You know what I'm saying? A little swole now, but you know, and it's nothing but God. And he didn't have to take me in. You know, he didn't have to introduce me to his family, but you know, God entrusted in him, which he entrusted in me. And it's a wonderful feeling, man. It's
thank you, bro.
Love you, man.
Love you
life.
too,
You
man.
know that. So,
yes, sir.
You got somebody who you can, you know, talk to, you know, do it, cause we all need that positive role model, that figure who we can always, you know, lean on, talk to and just just talk it out, because mental health is real. It's so much stuff going on. So man, if you got somebody in your life, whether it's a man or woman or an older sister or cousin, reach out to them. Just talk it out, and that's something that, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I've always had a problem with. But I really had to find it in myself, because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't talk to my parents and my grandparents about. Then when I got married, I started sharing some of that stuff that I had on my chest to my wife. So now, when I talk to her, it feels good. And then I do have other, people who I can talk to, and just do it, man.
Open that mouth. When we open our mouth, we find that not only do we get great answers oftentimes, but we learn things that we didn't anticipate learning. And that, to me, is one of the problems with technology. I say this all the time, that the phone has really destroyed our relationships. Relationships meaning doing what we're doing. We're looking at each other. We're looking at the love in each other's eyes. We can hear it in the conversation, and we can feel it.
Definitely.
And we need to put the phones down sometimes, you all. We really need to leave it at home. I like for you to leave it at home, so that when you are walking down the street, you won't have your head down. When you driving, you won't be driving with the phone in your hand. You will be paying attention to God's blessings, the surroundings, the beautiful day, the sun, the rays, the strength that we get from the sun, the beautiful people out on the street. Oh, that new building that was built over there. Look at that. I didn't even know they... It's so much that we're missing as a result of being redirected. That's what our phones are doing to us. They're redirecting us. And they're taking away the natural flow of life in forcing you to go down a lane that sometimes it's just not profitable. Some of us have car accidents. Others of us, if we are consumed by something other than God's nature, then that's going to be to your doom, to your detriment. Trust me.
Right.
Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to those people that you encounter each day, and notice God in each of them. And I think that's really what it's all about, John.
Social media messed everybody up, man. Like, everybody, is texting and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Like, where's the social skills? And and especially this younger generation, they don't know how to hold a conversation, because everything's iPhone, iPad, technology. You don't see kids playing basketball like that.
Not any longer. You right?
No, you don't. And I always tell people this, and they laugh, but I was blessed to have a childhood coming up. I mean, me and the guys would be outside throwing rocks at each other, wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And those experiences as a child, I will cherish until I die. These kids now, you scared to go outside.
Yeah, and they're not really living out of childhood.
Exactly.
And it's unfortunate. But that's also why it's so important for you older folk who are out here listening, who are looking for something neat to do, wanting to add to something. It's just a beautiful thing if you feel in your heart to mentor, and you can see the results of mentoring. Mentor a young woman, mentor a young man, and so that your legacy, number one, can be lived on through somebody else. In addition, they can just spread the love that God wants us all to spread, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So I love you.
Love you too.
And we love you too. And hopefully we'll see you
soon.
Amen.
Amen. Real soon.
Real soon.
Real soon.